You have joined me here on the Curtis Zone, and I do nothing but thank you and welcome you and ask that you hit the like and subscribe button for more content from me, for more me, my smiling face, my broad shoulders, my bouncing pecs, and of course my masculine voice. I, of course, am your humble and handsome host, Dylan J. Curtis, and I ask that you hit the like and subscribe button. Today is another History of episode. We are doing a history of Tenkai Knights. I have finished watching the series. I've come up with my favorite episodes, important moments, so I ask that you sit back, relax, enjoy, and give some love to today's sponsors. As always, Coastal Waste and Recycling, because your garbage powers someone's world, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get started with this episode, a little bit of news. Here's some news from the world of video games. I hope that everyone has seen the Jean-Claude Van Damme and Megan Fox trailers for Mortal Kombat 1. Megan Fox is playing Natari, and the Jean-Claude Van Damme skin is currently available for downloadable content. I cannot wait to play Mortal Kombat 1, guys. Another piece of news from the world of DC is the fact that the actor that's playing Orm in the upcoming Aquaman 2 is finally getting his own comic book accurate Ocean Master suit. Because the one from the first film was a little bit too boxy and scrapey and sharp. So they're getting a comic book accurate costume, and I can't wait to see Aquaman 2 because Jason Momoa will be returning. The final piece of news is from the world of movies themselves. It has been rumored that the actor Mikenyu, who you may remember as Roanoa Zoa or Saint Seiya from One Piece and Knights of the Zodiac, will be starting on a new film project which is supposed to be based around Voltron. Nothing is set in stone. This is all just rumors, but we can't wait nonetheless. Now let's get started with today's episode. And remember, hit the like and subscribe button for more content from the Curtis Zone, okay? Now, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you just want to make a request for any episode at all, leave it in the comment section down below. Remember, we here on the Curtis Zone, we listen to you, okay? Someone asked that I give an episode on Monkey D. Luffy versus Plastic Man. But, hey, we'll figure that out later, alright? Tenkai Knights would have its US television debut in August of 2013, had its final episode in December of 2014. It only lasted 25 episodes, but those 25 episodes were pure amazement on Cartoon Network. Now, like with a lot of Japanese animes, Tenkai Knights had some licensing issues here in the US, which means that a lot of episodes didn't come over to the US. It's supposed to have lasted 75 episodes, but we only got 25 here in the US. Other than that, it was pretty fun to see Tenkai Knights. It aired on the Cartoon Network Saturday night lineup, which was after Toonami. I miss Toonami. Centuries ago, on a planet known as Corton, which is located on the far reaches of the galaxy and practically in another universe, a group known as the Korkai were in the middle of a war over this thing called Tenkai energy. They were going up against the Corrupted. The Corrupted are an army of dark soldiers who were led by the warlord known as Vilius. Vilius, who used to be a Tenkai warrior. This was until the Knights, who are masters of Tenkai energy, found their way up against Vilius and his corrupted army and destroyed them. The Tenkai Knights being Valorn, who is master of the Tenkai staff, and expert Mark Leidendor, who is master of Tenkai mystery and the Tenkai shield throwing attack. Tributon, who is lightning quick master of the Tenkai bow. And finally Braven Wolf, who wielded a sword made of pure Tenkai energy and led the team. Though the Tenkai Knights were successful in defeating the Corrupted, they were still captured and deactivated by Vilius. This was until Gurren found his way to the city. Gurren would come to the city because his father was working on something called Benham Tower. His father, the architect, that is. Gurren would then meet Ceylon, and he and Ceylon would go to a shop owned by a man named Mr. White. While browsing around in Mr. White's shop, Mr. White somehow referred them to the Tenkai core bricks that they find. And they found their way into a basement where they would merge the core bricks and find their way on Corton. Later to join the team would be Chuki and Taxa, and they would all go on to meet Beeg and the rest of the Korkai, defenders of Corton. And all together they would form the Tenkai Knights. And there you have it, the origin of Tenkai Knights. Now, there are only 3 important moments we're going to talk about here in the season. Now, the first important moment we're going to talk about is when the Tenkai Knights combine their energy together to form the Proto-Jet. It was a pretty amazing thing to see, my friend. The next important moment is when we are first introduced to the Tenkai Titan mode, which is when the Tenkai Knights amplified their Tenkai energy and really got bigger and bulkier and got more power. And their weapons got even bigger, guys. It was pretty amazing to see this, and I hope that you guys see it soon. The final important moment is in the final episode of Tenkai Knights, when the Tenkai Knights finally storm Bilious' castle and to shut down the Reanimator and to stop him from using the Tenkai Dragon. It is important, guys, because the final episode is always important in any series, okay? I recommend watching Tenkai Knights. Now, let's talk about my favorite moment, shall we? Now, one of my favorite moments, there are only 4 favorite moments that I have. My first favorite moment is when we first meet Benny. Benny, she is a pink Tenkai Knight, but she's working for Bilious, and she helps them find the Black Dragon Key. See, there are 2 Dragon Keys, the Black Dragon Key and the White Dragon Key. Now, the Black Dragon Key and the White Dragon Key have the power to activate the dragon itself, the Tenkai Dragon itself. Pretty amazing to see how she led them to the Black Dragon Key and then betrayed them instantly, even though she has a thing for Gurren. My second favorite moment is when we're first introduced to Dromus. Dromus is an evil version of Bravenwolf. Bravenwolf being the swordsman of the Tenkai Knights. Now, I really like Dromus because he's basically the opposite of Gurren, and we find out later that he is also human going into going into Korkai, just like the Tenkai Knights. I recommend you guys first watch his first appearance on Tenkai Knights. It was pretty amazing, and it was pretty fun to see. It was like watching the Psycho Rangers. Huh? Yeah. I recommend you guys watch it. My third favorite moment is when we were first introduced to the Tenkai Dragon. This thing was freaking amazing to see, okay? Everyone who knows me knows that I love dragons and Pegasus, and I am a huge fan of these things, which is why it was pretty amazing to see the Tenkai Dragon brought to life. I recommend you guys watch it. My final favorite moment is when Bilious mounted an assault against the Tenkai the Guardians of Korkai. It was pretty cool to see because the Guardians are considered to be stronger than Bilious and his army of Corrupted, which is why it was pretty amazing to see the Guardians take out entire armies by themselves just with one shot. I recommend Tenkai Knights, alright? Now, with all this said and done, let's talk powers and abilities, shall we? As far as powers and abilities go, the Tenkai Knights use Tenkai energy to go from their world into the Korkai. Their armor is pretty much indestructible unless it's met with a lot of like attacks. Another thing that you should know about the Tenkai Knights is that they utilize all sorts of weapons and elemental forces that make them even more powerful to defeat the Corrupted. They have their power is limited by their Tenkai energy, which means they use up too much and they're done. They each have their own power and weapon. There's Gurren, who is now Bravenwolf, leader of the Tenkai Knights, who wields the Tenkai Sword, a sword made of pure Tenkai energy. The next member of the team is Ceylon, who is now Tributon, wielder of the Tenkai Bow and a master sharpshooter. Ceylon is also the Joker of the group. Next, there's Chuki, who is wielder of the Tenkai Knight known as Leidendor. Chuki is the athlete of the group, and Leidendor is master of the shield throwing attack as well as the mace attack. He's also a Tenkai illusionist. Finally, there's Taxa Team Gamer, who is also a master of the Tenkai staff known as Valorn. He's also a master sharpshooter like Ceylon. Another ability that they have are their Tenkai Titan modes, which give them a laser on their chest as well as give them bigger weapons. It also makes their bodies bigger and gives them a little bit of a flight capabilities, or hover mode if you will. It increases their Tenkai energy output as well, making them stronger, faster, and more agile. Another great power that they have is their Tenkai elemental forces. There's Brave Wolf, element of fire. Then you have Tributon, who has the element of ice. Next there is Valorn, who has the element of earth, or forest if you will. And finally, there's Leidendor, who has the element of lightning in his Tenkai Titan elemental. The next ability that they have are their Tenkai Titan fusion abilities, which make them twice the knight. Literally, due to the fact that two knights can combine together to create an even greater power for themselves, which was pretty cool to see if you ask me. Come on, look at this. Then final ability that they have are their Tenkai fusion abilities, which are the Proto Jet and the Air Lance. Yes, they can combine into jets, my friends. And just like that, another episode of the Curtis Zone has come to a close, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if I forgot anything, or if you just want to see more of me and my bouncing pecs, leave it in the comment section down below. And I'll probably remake the episode, or I'll just touch on it back again in some other way. Until then, I ask that you all hit the like and subscribe button, and remember to give some love to today's sponsors, Coastal Waste and Recycling, because your garbage powers someone's world, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you just want to make a request for any episode period, leave it in the comment section down below. I hope that everyone is currently enjoying the music that's currently playing in the background, and I ask that you leave in the comment section down below what you want me to put in my background, because remember, I'm still decorating my background. I love you all so much, and I'll see you soon.